Happy International Women's Day. And we wanted to start the show before the intro even started by talking about what Game Over has ready to go this evening. So this is all going to come out tonight. There are 3 segments for International Women's Day. The first one is on women athletes, hosted by Noxie from Noxie and Cax, featuring Allison Lucan, who covers the Seattle Kraken, is also part of the Too Many Men podcast, and of course, one of our favorites, Rachel Dory. So, by the way, love Allison, love Rachel. This is going to be great. Segment 2. And Liz. Yeah, Liz, you're fine. No, yeah. I love Liz. Number 2.
You're telling a goalie she's just okay?
Oh.
How dare in this city? How dare you?
Number 2 on women breaking into management and coaching, hosted by Liz and Kaya, featuring Rachel Dory again, and that's going to be a really fascinating conversation. And segment 3 on being fans and breaking into sports media, hosted by Sam from Game Over Vancouver and Lauren from Game Over Toronto, featuring Annie O'Donnell.
You can also find them on the Game Over podcast feed if you want to just listen to the audio version of that.
Yeah,
beauty.
We love that.
Happy International Women's Day.
Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast, powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Steve. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Jesse, what do you want to lead the show with today?
We got to talk about the EIHL again. Because on Monday you weren't here, Adam, and we talking about Jeremy Welsh, who owns the highest cap hit in NHL history.
Oh.
You may not know this, but his contract was weirdly prorated, and he signed it towards the end of the season, so his cap hit was nearly $17 million.
No,
wow.
It's almost 18.
Almost 18, 17 point something.
Must be a high-end player.
No, he was making minimum. So yes, but it was weirdly calculated, and that was the cap hit. And then he currently plays in the EIHL, and I ran through the teams that are in the league, and I pronounced most of them incorrectly.
Okay.
Because as you know, English isn't my best language. So we got a tweet from Susan correcting us on how to pronounce Basingstoke, because I did a terrible job with it. Here is Susan with the pronunciation.
Hi, Steve and Jesse. I'm in Guildford, and it is pronounced Basingstoke.
Basingstoke.
Hi, Steve and Jesse. I'm in Guildford, and it is pronounced Basingstoke.
Oh, there
I
you
love
go.
that. I love that.
Susan tweeted us and said, clarification on how to pronounce Basingstoke, courtesy of my under 10 goalie here in Guildford. English accent is better than my Canadian accent.
Love that.
We're just going to keep naming teams over there and places over there until we know how to pronounce all of them.
I'm glad that they have, like, you don't have like really difficult names here in North America so much, right?
No,
It's
definitely
tricky.
not.
I mean, what name, do we have names that are difficult for other people to understand? I think not, right?
Pretty sure most of the northeastern United States.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's from those. It's a lot of them is those people.
Yeah, Ontario's easy. We just took all the European names and stole them.
Right.
Can you tell me who's on the front of this jersey?
I was wondering that too.
Is that like the Prime Minister?
It looks like
of
their
England?
team is sponsored by Doug Ford.
I think something Little Rascals.
Wilkesies? I don't know.
Maybe Wilkesies is like a food place.
Wilkesies Little Rascals.
Now I need to know.
Yeah, you can't just send us that video. It's Susie, right?
Susan sent the video of the Utah
Susan,
goalie.
you can't send this video and then not tell us who's on the jersey. Also, that is a very slick jersey. It looks kind of like the Panthers, but a darker blue.
I would like one.
I would like one as well.
How
do I purchase?
Aberdeen Lynx
How do
jersey.
we join? How do we join the Little Rascals?
Oh, can we be official team members?
Oh my goodness!
I love that.
I think we need to sponsor the team.
Yeah, there it is. I like that.
Yeah. Get a patch on the jersey.
Apparently, the thing that really set people off was you naming 32 captains or 31 captains. You couldn't remember the 32nd. It was really impressive. Even like Scott Wheeler got into it on Twitter and stuff like that, and I was like, man, well done, Steve.
Oh yeah.
And the one guy I missed scored the OT winner yesterday.
I love it. Who was it?
Mikko Koivu. Jared Spurgeon.
He was trying to like think about it. He's like, oh, it's not Mikko Koivu anymore.
No, it certainly
I was
is
like,
not.
Steve, that's not helping.
Yeah, but it might have. Because I don't know, maybe it. You don't know how I dust off the folders in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, remember I didn't have the answers for the state capitals, and then I did?
Yeah, because you started singing the song.
Yeah, because, well, someone was running around my head going, I need the... Oh, here it is. And
Which file is that in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that movie with the red person and the blue person, and there's happy and... Inside Out.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Great movie.
That's...
Yes.
my
Rest in
head.
peace, Bing Bong.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Oh, yeah.
That was a sad moment. I was like, oh my
yeah.
God. I was like in tears in the theater, man.
I remember when Pixar movies were just fun.
They always cut right in the gut.
Up wasn't fun.
No, I know.
No, it
No,
wasn't. The
there
dog was fun. The dog made up fun.
Toy Story. Neat. That was neat. Toy Story 3? What the fuck, man?
Toy Story.
You didn't have to do that.
Toy Story 1 is the one where they leave the toy behind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tragedy.
Tragedy.
Yeah, but it's not like... No, like...
Toy Story 2 is where they become collectibles.
What's
or
the one
Woody's
about-
going to become a collectible.
Yeah. Tragedy.
Tragedy.
What's the one about souls? It was
About
it
souls.
was like 3 years ago. It came
Oh,
out.
it was on Disney Plus at like middle of the pandemic. Yeah.
yeah.
That was for adults though. That
Yeah.
wasn't for children.
Well, see, all the reviews of these movies though are, oh man, you're gonna love it, but you're gonna cry. No, then I won't love it. What are you talking
Well,
about?
Finding Nemo, think about that. Like, imagine watching that as a child, and it's like, as
the
a child,
shark.
your biggest fear is getting separated from your parents, right?
Right.
And then as a parent, now being a parent, your biggest fear is not knowing where your child is. Terrifying.
I thought I would get lost from my parents forever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought something bad would happen with Halloween candy.
Yeah.
And also the Bermuda Triangle.
But
I have to watch out for that Bermuda Triangle.
they had the Pelicans, and they had Mr. Ray, and I thought Mr. Ray was one of the highlights of the movie. Mr. Ray, the teacher.
Which
Here he
movie
comes-
is this?
Finding Nemo.
Oh.
His surfer dude?
Oh.
No, well, also the
That's-
surfing
that's
turtles.
Turtle.
No,
Yeah.
Mr. Ray is the manta ray, and he's the when they go to
and
school at the beginning.
they ride and he's the bus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he starts singing stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man, that
yeah.
guy rocks. I love
Did
that.
anybody on planet Earth seen Finding Nemo 2?
No,
There's a Finding Nemo too?
Finding Dory.
No,
Yeah,
that didn't-
starring Ellen.
Apparently, it's bad.
Oh.
I don't think anybody saw
I
it.
was done after Finding Nemo. I
Yeah.
didn't need a second one.
No.
I thought they did a great job. I think, okay, kaput, that's a good story. We're done. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some that are begging for sequels. Like, I will never get tired of any Star Wars content. But Finding Nemo was like, here's a complete good story. Probably should. Yeah, probably should.
It's an all-time movie, and there was no reason for a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Now, before we get into, I think, the biggest question of the day, which is, did the New Jersey Devils screw up by trading for Timo Meier?
Yes.
Whoa.
I mean, he could be the worst deadline acquisition ever. We need to get into this. You guys hungry?
Yeah.
Did somebody
Always.
say skip?
Did somebody say skip?
All right, now, this week, things are a little different.
Yeah.
Things are a little different. So they've extended it, and they've made the offer better.
Extended what?
Okay, so first off, remember how complicated the promo code was last week?
Yeah.
SPO10MD.
50.
That's right. Yeah, no.
WD 40.
This week, it's simply Dangle. Oh. His last name. The promo code for Skip the Dishes is now Dangle.
Hey.
Thank you, accounting department, for letting it go.
All caps?
Let the marketing people handle this.
All caps?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All caps, so you're yelling.
Well, no, because listen.
Dangle!
yeah.
Marketing person would put Dangle. That was definitely the accounting department that was like, no, it's going to be SPO10MD.
Yeah,
So
here,
it's-
just
what
enter
do you
the
get?
Wi-Fi code on the back of the modem, and it'll bring you some food.
What do
So
you get?
now you get Mitch's. This is all part of the Mitch's Dishes menu. You get $15 off a $30 order. So that's a full 50% off for the first 1,000 people that redeem this. And they've extended it a day as well, which is super cool. Because a lot of people were like, hey, wait a second, how come I can't order this on a Sunday? Well, now
Guess
you can.
what?
So starting Thursday morning at 12:01 a.m. to Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., you'll go on your Skip the Dishes app in select cities. Obviously, it's Southern Ontario. Thunder Bay is a part of this. There's a whole bunch of different cities on this, and you will be able to order, and you'll be able to use the promo code. What is it? Dangle. Thank you. And you'll be able to order from the Mitch's Dishes menu. And I also want to shout out Mark Masters, who heard about this and started before the Leaf game yesterday. He asked Justin Holl and Alex Kerfoot and Mitch about it. And I guess, and I think it was Justin Holl's expecting free food. Kerfoot's like, this is the first I've heard of it. I need to check out. I need to get on.
Did you pay Mark Masters to do this to further the promo?
No, he just did it. Mark Masters is a journalist. He can't do this stuff. So anyway, so I thought that was funny, and also I guess he talked to Mitch about it too, which I think is kind of cool. So last week when we tried the food, Steve ordered the boneless wings. And Jesse said, so you ordered chicken nuggets. And Steve said, no, they're boneless wings.
That's right.
And I want you to know that I, too, ordered the boneless wings. And they are, in fact, chicken nuggets.
But they are, in fact,
delicious.
Adam can't even
so good.
Culp.
They are.
Yeah, they are so good.
Boneless wings are chicken
They
nuggets,
are.
everybody.
Like
And what?
They are
And
complete.
what of it?
Okay, as long as you admit it.
Yeah.
I'm still saying they're
He
good.
wasn't admitting it last week,
Yeah.
That's so weird, because on the menu, it said boneless wings.
So again,
And then they brought me
Chicken nuggets.
so the Leafs are playing Edmonton on Saturday night. So if you wanted to order from the Mitch's Dishes menu, what you need to do again is go on your Skip the Dishes app. You're going to see Mitch there with his Mitch Marner Skip the Dishes jersey on. And I certain people actually who ordered it tweeted us, and they got T-shirts and stuff too at random, which was kind of neat, with the Mitch's Dishes logo on it. You'll see Mitch Marner's face. You click on it. You'll see the full menu for your area because the menu varies from area to area. And then you'll be able to use the promo code, which is what?
Dangle!
Spelled how?
Dangle!
I can't believe you kept it there. And it's $15 off a $30 or more order, which is pretty sweet. And remember, if Mitch likes it, it's got to be great. Thank you.
I think that's a different company.
Oh, great. Good.
It's got to be good. But great works too.
It's got to be tasty.
And chicken nuggety.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Did somebody say skip?
Now, getting into the game, there were a few things plaguing Leafs Twitter before the game. And when I say plaguing, I mean plaguing. They were making their way through Leafs Twitter like a virus. And there was a lot of them. There was a lot of reasons going into the New Jersey game yesterday to be stressed out.
Was it your devil's booty shorts?
It was not my Devil's Booty Shorts, which I have not broken out
Were
today.
you conflicted watching the game?
I mean,
Your favorite team versus the team you hate?
listen,
Leafs.
I have the passion, okay?
Whoa.
And I just want to shout out Flo Jurgensen. This is his t-shirt, but I think they're pretty sick. I got a few of these. I'm going to wear them. I bought like 3 of them. I checked out his store. But
So you were conflicted.
I was not really conflicted. Obviously here's what I was feeling. I was feeling the nervous energy of Leafs Twitter, especially starting with this. And there's several other things Leafs fans were upset about, but this one, I'm going to go through the list and we're going to hit them all before we hit the game. Sheldon Keefe on Timothy Liljegren. This is a Mark Masters quote. He's an important guy for us, but as I've talked to him about, our team is deeper on defense now. The standard is higher in terms of staying in. He was in a similar situation last year. Then you've got Rasmus Sandeen, who was just traded for Eric Gustafsson in a first-round pick to Washington. Dom Lecision tweeted this out. Rasmus Sandeen, in 18 games where he's played over 19 minutes, including 2 in Washington, he has 3 goals and 10 assists, a +2 penalty differential, a 61% expected goal, and +11 5-on-5. That, he's also got 5 points in, I think, the last 2 games in Washington. And then, of course, we find out that Ryan O'Reilly, out for a month, did have surgery on his finger. It was successful, but he has broken his finger and will not be in the lineup until early April. We have to hit those first, and then we'll talk about the game. So let's talk about the thing that I think, Steve, you said was going to turn you into a Batman villain.
Joker.
Yeah, okay, there it was. The Sheldon Keefe quote on Timothy Liljegren. Timothy Liljegren has been, if you don't know, one of the most dependable and very, very good defensemen on the right side for the Leafs this year.
He's their best right-handed defenseman.
So what's the problem?
Can you read that quote again?
He's an important guy for us, but as I've talked to him about, our team is deeper on defense now. The standard is higher in terms of staying in, and he was in a similar situation last season. Now, he was scratched the game before.
That coach right there, officer. Him right there. Arrest. Under arrest. So you mean to tell me if Luke Schenn wasn't away from the team yesterday, Liljegren would have been scratched? That coach right there, officer. Immediate under the jail. What? He's your best right-handed defenseman! What are any of us doing here? That coach right there, officer! No! Sheldon? No! You hear the surprise in my voice? Because he was scratched for a couple days, and I just Shoot it away. I was like, guys, he got hurt. We know he got hurt. He's fine. Don't worry about it. And then it turns out they were scratching him because they don't think he's one of their top 6. Jail! What's the next one?
The next
Isn't that
one.
why you got Luke Shen to play him?
You got Luke Shen to play him. No. He was away from the team.
Yeah. So
because he's
why
got
can't
a child.
Don't they get Luke Shen to play him ahead of Timothy Lilligren?
What the fuck no? What?
They shouldn't.
that
That's
was-
the point.
Yeah, why not? That's why. Isn't that why you got Luke Shen to play him on the team?
I think
Not
you got
over him.
You got Luke Shen to play him on your probably your bottom pair, I would think.
yeah, where
Well,
Timothy
isn't that why they got
Lilligren?
Sam Lafferty to play him over Austin Matthews?
Where
the fuck?
where Timothy Lilligren would be? That's why you got Luke Shen.
Lilligren should be stapled to Morgan Riley for the rest of both of their careers. And Shen should play with Giordano. Take Holl out of the lineup.
Firstly, Hall's not coming out of the lineup. He's too important to Sheldon Keefe. Secondly, it should
Sheldon Keefe.
Sheldon Keefe.
Thank you.
Secondly,
Thank you.
it should be Riley Broads. Thirdly,
No.
what about
Riley Brody's not good.
What about Luke Shen?
Giordano.
What about Justin Holl in the lineup? You took out Justin Holl, but you can't take out Justin Holl when you're building a Leafs lineup because that's not going to happen.
Well, because we're using like logic in our eyes to try to build the best team possible. But the parameters you're putting around it makes that impossible to do because your parameters are Justin Holl has to be in the lineup.
Exactly.
And that coach right there, officer. No. Yeah, Holl giveth and Holl taketh away. Like that pairing was bad.
We'll get into that in the game. Let's not get into the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking pregame. These are the things that are running through Leafs Twitter, right?
Riley looked good, and he was with Lilligren. There you go.
Lilligren doesn't have a place in the lineup because they got Luke Shen to play him, not to scratch him. So
Right.
they can't
but
scratch Holl.
That's not how it should work.
Right. Now, moving on to Rasmus Sandeen in Washington. Leafs fans have a ton of anxiety about any good young player that gets traded out because Leafs in the 90s traded out a ton of good players for good veteran players, but it didn't quite work out. And namely, somebody in my generation that I really wish we could have back was the Kenny Johnson for Wendell Clark trade. Oof. That was painful. But also, they missed out on people like Roberto Luongo, Scott Niedermayer. All those draft picks were also traded by the Leafs to, I think, the Islanders and the Devils and whoever else. It does sting. Seeing Rasmus Sandeen doing what we knew he always could in Washington does sting a little bit, but it's a little bit early to say, oh, well, Toronto really screwed that up.
There's a couple things there. So Sandeen, we know can't play the right, and that was a big issue. I don't think he can play third pair even, really. But here's the problem. Sandeen's reputation, like when he was first breaking into the league, was what? Does anyone remember? What his reputation was coming off of the Marlies?
What was it?
That he can play half an hour a night.
Oh, time suck.
Yeah, well, he's a minute eater. You can have a long career being a time suck, Jay Bouwmeester. Like that guy was a huge
Olympic team.
Olympic team time suck, but like I don't know if he was ever elite at anything other than playing the most. Every coach he ever played for is just like, all right, we're gonna play Jay 45 minutes tonight, and he was fine on a lot of nights. Probably would have been much better if he didn't play 45 minutes. But Sandeen, I remember with the Marlies and in the preseason, they gave him a shitload of minutes. The best Sandeen looked this season was when they had all their injuries and he was the only guy. And then fucking he got hurt too. I'm not surprised to see him play more minutes and succeed. I just wonder why, while he was here, they didn't give him more minutes.
Right. Well, and you could say that maybe there was more depth up, there was more experience up that side. But he is doing well in Washington. Players on new teams tend to it's almost like it's the same effect like when a new coach comes in and a team goes on a hot streak.
Well,
happened with Vancouver and Boudreau, and look how that worked out.
He's on Ovechkin's power play.
He's going to do well.
Who's shocked by this?
Yeah,
he's going to get more points there than he did with the Leafs, not just because of his 5-on-5 time, but he's running the number one power play.
The reality of the situation too, and you need to know this as a Leaf fan, is he wanted to move on.
Yeah.
And
so that was the other thing. Kyle Dubas does right by his players.
Right.
What if he stopped that?
You wish they held on to Sandeen?
He doesn't.
He didn't
need
need to
do
make that move. He didn't need to make that move.
I think the first round pick definitely helps.
No, but the one I
Sorry,
keep
Jesse,
going.
you mean the 2 seconds?
Ah, yes. Yes.
right.
The 30.
The eventual 2 seconds.
Yeah, the 35th and 45th picks.
There you go.
Yeah.
The one I keep going back to is Barabanov to San Jose. Do you know who he was traded for?
No.
Of course you don't.
No.
Because, who the fuck? It's Anssi Suomela.
Okay.
Who the fuck? Who the Leafs ended up retaining on an AHL contract. Who the fuck? Yeah, well, the Leafs didn't know Barabanov had that. Yes, you did. Why'd you recruit him so hard? Lots of teams wanted that player. You went out and got him and proceeded to not play him at all. He played in the top 6 with the Leafs 2-3 games.
Yeah, and San Jose is not deep, and it's the Ryan Dangle thing. Yeah, he scored 20 goals on the shitty Senators, though. Somebody's got to score.
Yeah, but this is a team that could use a little bit of help on the wing right now, and it would have been nice. It would have been nice.
I mean, who's he better than in the Leafs right now?
Okay. Alexander Kerfoot is on the top line. I think he's at least as good as Kerfoot.
You think Barabanov's as good as Kerfoot?
Yeah.
I think this is such a stretch.
I have never watched Barabanov play enough to know one way or the other, but that's...
I liked him when he was a Leaf.
Are you
puck just
suggesting
didn't go
Kyle
in.
should have never traded Barabanov because right now he could be on the top line left or second line left?
No.
wing?
Where
I'm going with that, is he better than Aston Reese? I don't know if he's a better fourth liner than
But he might have been
Aston
better than
Reese, and
Ome
that's probably
Kubel.
the problem.
He might have been better than guys that got a shot.
But the point is, he did right by his guy by getting rid of him for fucking who? For who?
Well, the Leafs got, on this one, a first-round pick and a roster player.
Which does shit all for them right now. And Gustafsson does not count unless every player on the Leafs breaks their neck. It's not.
He's
not
Morgan,
going to-
He's Morgan Riley insurance. I think that does count.
Oh boy, well
He is
they
injured.
traded Morgan Riley insurance in order to get him.
No, Sandeen didn't want to be here. He didn't want to play. He didn't have a
Fuck
spot
off!
in the
You're
roster.
under contract, asshole.
Nah.
Steve has a point because Jake DeBrusk asked the Bruins for a trade when they weren't playing him enough, and they said, "How about you shove that up your ass?"
Yeah.
And then he rescinded it because things started going well.
think
again.
Ilya Mikheyev asked out.
Yeah,
and
and
Dubas
they
said
said
no,
no. Yeah.
and he had the best season of his
I
life.
think there's in Dubas's world, Sandy's not playing. Let me go get a first round pick and recoup the one I
But
sent
he-
out. And
he
had
ought to be.
He should have been taking that first round pick and sending it out for something else for
agree.
the left
I think he
wing.
probably meant to, right?
I think that's what he should have done. But
Yeah.
if he meant he should have done it,
Now,
I think that's the mistake. It's not the mistake in trading Sandeen.
you got to get something that helps you now, and those things don't help you now.
yeah.
Yeah, and he should have flipped it.
It seems like there was something brewing, and then they just didn't get it done.
But
Right,
if
'cause
those
that's-
things aren't out there,
Right, but that's
Guess
revisionist
what, Rasmus?
history.
You're a
'cause
7.
We can go back to a week ago and watch your Sandeen trade video, and you're like, "This is great. He should be moving on."
yeah.
for him, from his perspective, it's fantastic.
It's good for
And from
him.
the Leafs' perspective,
No, it is-
you were understanding why they were trading this player. He wasn't playing.
They could make this deal at the draft. They could have made that deal at the draft. Now they don't have Rasmus Sandin. Kyle, I want to be traded. Yeah, that's nice. Hey, did your paycheck come on time?
But they were
Fuck
never
off, get
they
in the
weren't
press
gonna play
box.
him. Like all these guys they have right now, Sandeen's like the eighth out of them.
Yeah.
I'm doing it from Sheldon Keefe's eyes. Sandy would never make the line. He'd be a sitting body, and then you wouldn't have the first round pick.
Now, this is a very good point that you bring up, that it's got to do with Sheldon Keefe and his coaching decisions. So a lot of people pointed out with Kerfoot and Holl, and why is this going to cost Dubas his job? Because he would defend that coach with his life is why. This is his guy through and through. So every decision Sheldon Keefe makes, Dubas wears. That's his guy. It's been his guy from day one. It's been his guy from
So
junior.
if we look at it from that perspective and we say, in Sheldon Keefe's eyes, Sandeen is his 10th defenseman with all these defensemen, how do you justify keeping him on the roster when you have a free
Because
first
you
round?
We're
got-
trying to win a cup.
You're trying to win a cup, and you want to have depth. And
No, but he's not playing him.
I know, but you remember.
But if someone gets hurt, we will.
Remember
We're
that
trying to win a
Marty,
cup.
No, we won't.
Marty
Trying to win a cup. He
Marincin was
might
their
play
depth
you.
before, and
Yeah.
he drew into playoff games
Yeah.
because people got injured.
No,
Yeah.
but he might play you over Rasmus Sandeen. Like, there's so many bodies ahead of Sandeen that he would never make this lineup.
Trying to win
he
a
was
cup.
sitting there.
Sixth floor. Enjoy the popcorn. Trying to win a cup.
He's not playing.
Well, anyway.
Sheldon Keefe's the coach.
Trying to win a
The
cup.
next thing
Go
that people
upstairs.
were anxious about, as you can tell the anxiety here, is O'Reilly out for a month. You know, they've just made this trade. Everybody's really excited about it. If Austin Matthews had stayed off because he was injured on Sunday, I think it was against Vancouver, or was it the previous game? That shot... Saturday, yeah. Then he wouldn't have taken that shot, which broke Ryan O'Reilly's finger. But here we are, and you know, obviously it was not anything on purpose. People just think the Leafs are cursed, and I think
that's a stretch.
well, but it's just people, Leaf fans, feeling like they're cursed, and I can't blame them.
No.
I feel it. And then the last thing is Tavares took a couple of big hits against Vancouver, and Sheldon Keefe said he wasn't feeling himself. And you got to remember that, you know, we're 2 years, not even 2 years removed from a devastating head injury that had affected him.
Head, neck, knee.
For the Corey Perry accidental knee in the playoffs in 2021. I don't know if that's connected to this or if it's head related or whatever, but if Sheldon Keefe says John Tavares isn't feeling like himself, you got to know that he's banged up. And so he sat. So going into the game, who's the Leafs' second line center?
Sam Lafferty.
And here's the other thing about Sheldon Keefe that I find fascinating is he chose a game against the New Jersey Devils, a red hot, literally, team, and decides, you know what, Michael Bunting, I know you've been on the first line all this year, but we're going to make a statement to you now against a really good team. It wasn't like he picked a shit team to send Michael Bunting a message. He's like, no, you're playing against one of the best teams in the conference, and you're playing on the fourth line.
So here's where Sheldon Keefe gets some praise.
Here you go.
Here. So Sheldon Keefe gets some praise because he's demoted Michael Bunting over Bunting's 2 years with the Leafs to the fourth line twice. He did once last year, once this year. He scored in both of those games. Both of them. So there's number one. Yeah, you suck on that, Eric Lindros.
Eric Lindros did say that.
There's a coach benching a guy, and he was right. The other one is, I don't know who most people would have replaced. I don't know who most people would have put as second line center in absence of Tavares and O'Reilly. I wouldn't have landed on Lafferty. Sheldon Keefe took a look at the New Jersey Devils, one of the fastest teams in the National Hockey League, and he's like, we're going to make a line of burners. And he went Yarncroke, and Lafferty, and Nylander, and fucking, it was their first goal.
Well, hang on. We're not talking about the game yet. We're just talking about the lineup decision.
I mean, I saw it, and I was like, I'm not going to get worked up about this because it's a placeholder in case of an injury.
Did you feel good about Yarncroke, Lafferty, Nylander going into the game?
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Not great. It was not great. You got Ryan O'Reilly and Tavares out. You're not feeling great. So they get into the game. What happens in warm-up, Steve?
Samsonov took a puck to the dick.
From who?
I didn't actually see.
I believe it was William Nylander.
No.
I believe that was what was reported. It was an accident. And so I'm watching the game. I'm going, oh my God! Like, can you imagine if they lose this game? People are gonna just what was floating around on Twitter yesterday. People are gonna lose their minds. They're gonna lose their minds. They have to win this game. And so what happens? Sammy may not play, and then he gets in, and he's been spectacular, top 10 in the league in save percentage.
One of his best games.
What does he do in the first period?
He stops a sequence that was probably the best back-to-back save sequence any Leaf goalie has had this year. And he stopped 15 of 15. As the Leafs got outshot 15-5.
And I don't know what the scoring chances were, but they must have been higher than 15 shots.
1,000,000-1.
Leafs didn't show up. Not in the first.
I don't know if it's that they didn't show up. I think it's they were outclassed. And trying to figure out what it looks like to have Sam Lafferty as your second line center.
But then that's where it picks up. So let's talk about that second line. Mm-hmm. What is the genius of Keith, if there's a genius, or what's the good idea here? You talk about speed, which Andrew Berkshire kind of pointed out to me on our Hot Ones challenge. He's like, the Leafs are not that fast.
No, they're not. But he found a way to make them fast. That made them. That's the fastest that second line's ever been. It's not going to be like that with Tavares there.
No.
It's not going to be like that with O'Reilly there.
No.
Neither of those guys are very fast. When the St. Louis Blues won the Cup in 2019 with Ryan O'Reilly as their playoff MVP, they might have been the slowest team in the league.
Right. They were slow and heavy. Right.
No, we talked about it before. The Leafs aren't a rush team. Like, they don't get their chances off the rush. They set up in the zone. They do their thing. Like, and it was exceptional seeing it last night with a team who gets all their goals off the rush and the New Jersey Devils, and them just hang with them.
They play more uncle hockey than people give them credit for.
100%.
Yeah. No, they like to get it deep. They like to grind. They like to hit. It's maybe not violent. It's a little heavier than people give them credit.
They win a lot of board battles with skill.
They do.
On a board battle.
Like, it's like the way
Sticks.
Mitch can just get the puck out of nowhere,
Yeah.
but it's not it's not with speed.
That's why I like Mitch and Tavares together so much, because Tavares is in there just grinding away. He can take on two guys at once, and Mitch just goes yoink, and just takes it right out of the fray. Willie can do it too, but Mitch is he's very sneaky.
So going into the the first intermission, all of those storylines are playing in. Steve spilled water all over himself. And
Stop using that ball.
I know. Can you just get a
I know, I
normal?
think that's
Can you get an adult water bottle, please?
Because it's
dripping.
for my bedside table. So.
Yeah, but like you could use it there. Like,
I know.
See, Jesse and I, I like a straw because I'm still a child. I love a straw.
A little sippy.
But Jesse's we have brand. We
Yeah.
could give you that.
If I can upgrade from not having an open glass in front of the board, then you can upgrade from not having sippy straw.
I lost mine in the move. Oh. Yeah, I need it.
Somebody else has it right now. They're like, stole that from Dangle.
Those
idiots.
jerks.
No, so then you got 2 periods left. You got 40 minutes. And I felt like there was a lot of anguish on Leafs Twitter. I'm watching this. I by the way, I had a chest infection. I still have it, and I'm recovering from it, feeling like shit. And I'm watching this, and I'm reading Twitter. I'm going, I'm gonna feel real sad in a second here. And they come out, and what do the Leafs do in the second period?
They were the much better team. They were the better team for the rest of the game.
They were the Leafs.
Yes,
but
it took them. It was just like the Calgary game, because Calgary. Keith talking about it was their best defensive performance. I think the final 40 minutes were. First period, they weren't very good at all. I didn't think. And this game was very much the same. They're trying to figure each other out still.
Well, and it seems like there were a lot of set plays off the rush. Jesse, you mentioned that. The Nylander, like the Lafferty Nylander Yarncroke goal was like 1, 2, 3. And then later on in the third period, you had Nylander again. Bunting lets it through to Matthews. Justin Holl's pass to Mitch Marner, which was spectacular in the third period as well. David Kampf, which was then across. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 3 of those goals came essentially the same way.
That was
The
a great
Bunting one,
setup.
or the one Bunting let through his legs, which was beautiful. That was on the power play, right?
Right.
That's why Bunting was out there with them, which just proved again that it wasn't like a demotion to the fourth line. It was just hey, you've been bad recently. You got to play this one game because he played on PB1.
Yeah, we still need you on the power play.
Yeah.
Well, they needed a net front guy.
Yeah, because no Tavares, right?
Yeah.
So it was ridiculous, but yeah, that's why that was set play. Power play.
So when you see a performance like that, to me, and I saw the deserve to win a meter kind of making its way around, and the Leafs were like under 30% on that. Good teams play bad games and win. And the Leafs played statistically, sure, probably not one of their best games, and won. And to me, that felt gutsy. And they did it without Ryan O'Reilly and Tavares, and that showed character.
Yeah. Isn't that like burying the lead a little bit? Like the Devils look like the better team because they should have. What? They're above the Leafs in the standings. They aren't down O'Reilly and Tavares, and they were at home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they looked like they. Of course they did.
Right.
Like, you can't tell me Lindy Ruff wasn't looking at that matchup 1 through 4 up the middle and going, you know what? I'll take this Leafs team. Absolutely. So I don't look at that as, if the Leafs play that game again, they're going to lose it. Like, no, what? They're not going to have Sam Lafferty as their second line center long term. Right?
Well, I hope not.
I hope not.
Maybe.
Also.
He was not bad.
Maybe. No,
but that's why you get him, right? That's why you bring him in.
That's why you bring him in.
Now,
that's why you get 90 centers.
Yes, because you're going to need them. Yep. It was like I remember when the Leafs in 2013 against Boston. Like Tyler Bozak was injured, and they're rolling out freaking Grabovski they were rolling out some like Grabovski, I think, for like multiple faceoffs and stuff like that because they couldn't get people. And then remember in 17 or 18 against Boston, whichever one of them Mike Babcock fucked up, where Zach Hyman is playing center on the penalty kill against Patrice Bergeron and hasn't taken regular center faceoffs all year long. Unforgivable shit. There's a reason he's never coached in the NHL again, among many.
Yeah.
I think in all honesty, what I saw that I really like from this team is you are going to have those moments in the playoffs where there are guys that are just hanging on by a thread and are not good to go that night, and you got to win anyway. And you're gonna. It doesn't matter. I fucking hate the playoff matchup system too, but at the end of the day, if you want to win the cup, whether it's in the first round, the second round, or the third round, or the final, you're going to play good hockey teams.
Mm-hmm. While fucked up.
And you're going to have to win.
Yep.
While fucked up.
O'Reilly, I'm fairly certain would be playing.
If this were the playoffs. But the right thing to do is to not. And
get some rest. How long was Nas out?
Oh my God, he was out like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably, I would say that's the minimum because that was the actual playoffs. We have kind of,
and he scored.
We have a barometer.
Yeah. That was his thumb.
Oh my God.
It's probably 2 weeks max he's out if it's the playoffs.
Yeah, and like Ryan O'Reilly uses a shovel for a stick anyway. Like, no, I'm not worried about that injury at all.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
Now, I have a couple questions.
Okay.
The first one, is it outlandish to suggest that Mitch Marner one day soon should be in the Selkie conversation?
He should probably be there already. Like, at least in the conversation.
I'm not saying he's better than Patrice Bergeron, who is the perennial winner. But
he should.
Is he not? How is Mitch Marner not considered one of the best penalty killers in the league already, widely? I know the advanced stats community has him as that. You saw what he did with Timo Meier, stripping him of the puck, which, by the way, Timo Meier had a brutal night.
He really did.
Really, like, there's no reason to have your stick up that high in the neutral zone ever, let alone in the third period against the Toronto Maple Leafs with 5 minutes to go. But let's talk about that penalty kill where Marner gets in there and strips the puck from Timo. He does that all the time.
He should be consistently, I'd say, top dozen in Selkie voting. He doesn't have to win the Selkie. He doesn't have to be nominated. Jeff Merrick was on this years ago. It's really, really difficult for wingers to win it.
Jere Lehtinen used to.
Jere Lehtinen used to, and I think he might be the last one.
I loved him.
Hossa never got one. That's kind of wild. But Hossa also played in the same era as Taves, Kessler, Bergeron, Kopitar. So the tie always goes to the center. But Mitch should be in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be nearly impossible for him to ever do it, but he should definitely be in the conversation. It should be higher than where he is right now. I pulled up last year's Selkie Trophy voting. Mitch Marner finished 16th in voting.
So if we can get him into the top 10, I feel good about that.
Yeah, but the top 8 are centers. You know,
what do you got? Who are the top 8?
Bergeron, Lindholm, Barkov, Ryan O'Reilly, Cirelli, Kopitar, Eriksson, Ek, Deneau. That's the top 8. They're all centers.
Wow. And they're all great.
First winger, you get Marcus Foligno. 10th, Austin Matthews. Jordan Stahl, Brad Marchand is 12th left winger.
He kills penalties as well.
Backlund, it's back to centers. Aho, Zibanejad, and then Mitch Marner at 16.
Like none of those players is like, oh, writers don't know what the hell they're talking about, or whoever votes on that. Like those are all great defensive players.
But Mitch Marner should be a top 10 Selkie voting every year with the way he plays currently.
What was he, fourth? Fourth among centers? Third?
Among wingers?
Winger, sorry, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Aho will count as a winger. 4, yeah.
Should they have an all Selkie team?
Yeah.
All defensive players.
Yeah, I think
all defensive team, yeah.
The team that wins the cup.
Branson to be on it every year, according to the GMs, because apparently he's good at defense.
It's ridiculous that he can't crack a top 10, but the writers...
I mean, look at the names,
the writers think you got to play center.
Yeah.
Matthews being above him is very funny.
But Matthews on 5-on-5, all the metrics support it.
Well, that's the thing, though. 5-on-5, 60 goals... Like, it's a wonder he wasn't higher, but like also you ask any Leaf fan, all right, who's the best defensive forward on the team?
Yeah.
They probably all come up with Mitch. He doesn't kill penalties.
Fans of other teams will probably roll their eyes, but Austin Matthews is actually legitimately very good defensively and very responsible.
It's part of why he hasn't had that great of a season offensively. It's because he's fucked up from leading the league in block shots among forwards.
That maybe should stop, by the way. They don't need to do that.
So I like to try on different fashions. And last night I decided to put on my tinfoil hat. Mm-hmm. Do you think, I think some players need to try to block shots and other players happen to get hit by a lot of shots. And I just wonder if teams are like, you know what, I'm fucking firing it at Austin tonight.
No.
You're telling me that doesn't happen?
Way.
You're telling me that doesn't happen?
No, that's saying that every player in the league is Tony DeAngelo or Corey Perry.
I think they have a little bit more of that in them than you think.
Okay. All right. Well,
I saw what Daniel Alfredson did to Scott Niedermayer. I saw what he did.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I saw what he did.
Okay. All right.
Can I give you the most egregious Selkie Trophy vote?
Please.
From last season?
Okay.
Oh, 23rd in Selkie Trophy voting. 34 players received votes. This player received 6 votes.
Patrick Laine.
What was the highest vote? Second?
Fourth place was their highest vote. Yeah.
But you still have them fourth above all the players that Jesse mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guess who it is?
Patrick Laine.
No.
It's got to be something. Mark Scheifele.
No.
Boone Jenner.
JT Miller.
No! Get out of here! Are you serious?
There are 2 writers out there who had JT Miller as the 4th best defensive forward in the National Hockey League.
Okay, so they work at the Providence and they work at where
No, because Vancouver has smart writers who have to watch him. Guaranteed it was another writer within his division. Oh, Edmonton, I'm looking daggers right through you. Oh, absolutely. Really? Absolutely, I'm looking daggers right through you, Edmonton.
Two people watched hockey all last year and said JT Miller is the 4th best defensive forward. Oh, are they running a bit?
Maybe Vancouver was just that bad defensively.
Well,
because you can be that bad defensively and players that aren't good on defense look better.
So you know how the Jack Adams is
the whoops coach of the year.
Unless there's the rare John Cooper and like Jim Montgomery will probably get it this year, right? The Selkie.
Oh, I think that's Lindy Erasure. But
the Selkie to some voters is the penalty killer who got a lot of points award. You know what I mean? JT Miller does kill penalties.
It's like the Norris Trophy, right? It's like it's the defenseman who got a lot of points award, which isn't fair.
JT and Pettersson hooked up for that shorthanded goal on. There are 2 of them. Yeah. He scored one on Saturday. He does great job killing penalties. Doesn't mean he's a great defensive forward.
Oh dear.
Yes, it does, Jesse. Oh dear. Yes, it fucking does.
He had 100 points and he kills penalties.
Yes, he does.
4th in the league.
Okay, so here's my second of weird questions. Justin Holl and Mark Giordano on the ice for 3 goals against last night.
And 2-4.
So they're a -1. You broke some of them down in your LFR this morning. There is a lot of talk about Justin Holl. We talked about it already. He's clearly Sheldon Keefe's favorite toy, especially on the PK. That's why he's in the lineup.
It's like when your son plays on, you're the coach of the hockey team.
It's like, or it's like which is happening a lot in junior right now, which is parents are buying the team and putting their kids on it. And there are certain players in the NHL who have had that. Mm-hmm. And whatever. That's sports. But
it's not new.
Holl and Gio, and mostly Holl. Is he as bad as the discourse has been on the one side? Is he as good as the Justin Holl defenders? I won't call them apologists. I'll call them defenders. I mean, I've seen, Cam Charron is unapologetically, Justin Holl is a good defenseman. You guys are wrong. And then you ask Leafs Twitter, and they'll be like, he fucking sucks. He's terrible. Where's the middle ground here?
The middle ground was, I don't want him in the lineup. And so
and that's your opinion.
And that's my opinion.
And you're allowed to have that.
And it's based on watching a gajillion games of his.
So, but everybody else in this argument would make the same argument. I've watched a bajillion games, and here's what I think.
And then I was like, okay, let's slow it down. Let's look at all 3 of these individually. Maybe the first one was a little on him. He's just baby shit in front of his own net. Baby shit. He's way too soft.
I watched him get stripped a couple times behind the net in his own end 2 by New Jersey's forecheck, which is admittedly very good.
His worst play of the game didn't go in.
Right.
It was he let a guy get past him. It was in the third period. I can't remember who it was.
He gets stripped along the boards a little more than I'd like, I think. But is Justin Holl an NHL player?
Yes.
Okay, of course.
But I made that argument before the trade deadline. Like, there was the option of can they or can't they trade him? If you have the option of keeping him as your 7 or 8, like, I think you do it.
But keeping him means not being a 7 or 8.
Well, I guess. I don't know. He's an expiring contract. Right?
So no, it's just because the thing is like I do, I have my opinions. I'm not always fair and balanced, but I have to be honest. The Justin Holl thing, it seems a little
overdone.
It's overdone and it's outsized on both sides.
Yes.
Right? And like the side that hates him is like fire that guy into the sun. The side that loves him will like give him the Norris. And it's like at a certain point, it's like he's not that bad, but he's not that good, and that's okay. That's most NHL players, isn't it?
Justin Holl is a very average NHL defenseman.
He's mid.
There are very many defensemen in the National Hockey League who you can plug in his spot in the lineup, and they could do the exact same thing.
Timothy Liljegren.
We wouldn't even notice. Rasmus Sandeen, everybody.
Well, he's left side though.
I don't know. You probably still plug him in.
He can't play right.
He cannot play right side. Not yet, anyway. But the Leafs wouldn't give him a chance. Like, don't let him develop on that side.
But the thing is,
They gave him like a couple fun opportunities to fail.
the coach loves him. So I think we all just have to come to grips with on game 1, unless like it keeps trending downwards and then there's just like no excuse.
Yeah.
Game 1, Sheldon Keefe's going to play.
I don't think it's trending downwards, so that's the good thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think, what is it, 3 games since the deadline? And
It's staying how it always was.
yeah, okay, so I think Justin Holl is worthy of criticism, and he takes too much criticism. But then sometimes this fan base and other fan bases either protect or ignore their favorite toy. Gio was out there too.
No, don't say it.
What are you saying?
I'm saying Mark Giordano was out there too.
I think Mark Giordano's had so many good games that like
Yes.
one bad game isn't something to harp on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you saying?
So we're playing favorites here then.
No, but like if Austin Matthews has a bad game, you don't go, oh,
Yeah, you defer.
Austin Matthews, you guys.
Some people do.
Gio is
that's stupid.
but Gio won a Norris like 2 years ago. I think we can say that
39.
definitively that yes, 39, and yes, he's played a lot. But I would say that Giordano's got much more of a resume to fall back
do
on.
you remember when
agree.
everyone was out for the entire fall
And he
Mark
saved them? He was
Giordano
like the
was
number
the
one-
number one defenseman?
That was
He
wild.
saved this team's ass.
Do you think he might be a little tired after that?
I think he should 100% get rest down the stretch here. But hockey coaches are the worst in that way, and that they don't.
So are
just,
players.
They don't just sit guys.
So our players are like, no, I'll never rest.
Yeah,
He should have
I
a
don't
night
either.
off. Gio should only play like half the games for the rest of the year. They have 42 defensemen on the roster.
Put
Rotate
Gustafson
them.
in, win every game 7-5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many problems here that stem from just the coaching. Like our Justin Holl Sandeen argument is just, I think the coach is gonna do this, so what's the point of fucking getting mad about Sandeen? And
Never. Our problem is we've been looking at the lineup with laser vision recently because of the trade deadline, creating the perfect lineup in your head. Never allow yourself to carve that into concrete. Never allow yourself to do that.
Why?
Because the coach will never give it to you.
Right, of course. Now the last question I wanted to ask.
is Sheldon Keefe a problem?
No, I think Sheldon Keefe is every NHL coach.
Okay.
There's always going to be a coach is going to have their favorites, right? It's either you're not going to love everything.
Kerfoot on the top line is unforgivable.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that happened too.
There's not much to it.
But you have to
He's
send
not a good
you have to send Michael
top six
Bunting a
player.
message. So who plays with him?
Anybody else?
Well, he would probably say, well, Kerfoot's got the speed and the puck handling ability that you want to have with Matthews and Marner. And so you want a guy who can do that. Now, Kerfoot has not scored on 30 straight NHL shots. He's snake bitten. There's no question.
And like people will talk about shooting percentages, and it's funny with guys that far down in the lineup, or should be that far down in the lineup. It doesn't mean dick. If Kerfoot's shooting percentage is far below what it usually is. It's like 6% versus 11 or something. But that would bring his goal scoring total this season from 7 to like 11. Guys, he can't play there. That's enough. get out of here.
Right.
Anybody else. But then, like, okay, so should it be Yarncroke? And then you break up that line that ended up scoring a goal. Should it be Bunting? No, he's the one you're teaching a lesson to. Should it be Aston Reese? Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. So fuck, I guess we land on Kerfoot. It wasn't a disaster.
I think that's exactly what they did. What you just did there.
They just settled.
They just said, that's what... Well, I mean, sometimes you have to. When you got Ryan O'Reilly and Tavares out, what choice do you have? Oh. And
what choice you had was improving on that position at the trade deadline,
which they weren't able to do.
And
so
that's
now
not something to get upset over that night. Yeah, because that's gone. That's in the past. So why are we?
And they did improve.
Because
and then
I'm a human being.
And there were 2 players are down. There are 2 players down.
I'm just asking you to think about it rationally.
Yeah, no, but that's not how humans work. Humans,
especially
go,
fans. Fans don't think rationally.
Humans go, how are we in this position? Like, yes, I know complaining about it doesn't change the position. How the fuck are we in this position, though?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be in this position.
100%.
And here we are in this position.
100%.
Is that helpful? No.
No.
Am I
not
mad?
helpful.
Yes.
The show's like the conversation's not about being helpful.
No, I don't work.
You're right.
And by the way,
I'm not getting a ring.
Can I just ask? Can I add something? Yo, man, this goes out to everybody who's like asking fans to be rational. Stop.
No.
Stop.
Enough.
That's not how fans work.
No.
There's a lot of people on Twitter that would have you believe that they are the more evolved human being because they look at numbers and this and that and they go, I'm better at this. My fandom is elite because I am rational all the time. First off, no, you're not. Nobody is. Second, the whole point about being a fan is overreaction.
Fandom.
Yeah, man. If we sat here and reacted to nothing, would you listen to this?
Yeah, but have you considered that I'm way too fucking cool
to
care?
That's not. That's not.
The one thing that really is I find is so weird when people go, it doesn't matter until game 1 of the playoffs. It's like,
it fucking does.
So we're just supposed to take off the whole regular season and I'll watch?
No, it matters. It fucking matters.
Fuck are you doing here then?
Can I say
get out of here.
We were talking a little bit of the trade deadline and the new acquisitions and all this stuff. The guy I like the most, and I tweeted this last night, the guy that I think has added so much to the team is Noel Achari.
Man,
I fucking love that guy.
Really like him.
Wow.
Really
that
like
is a guy you must hang on to because the thing with the Leafs depth, and if you look at their lineup going into game 1 last year versus Tampa, it's a fucking miracle that they got to 7 games against Tampa. It's a miracle that their game 1 lineup scored like 5 or 6 goals against Tampa.
5.
That's crazy.
5-0.
Go look it up. It's outrageous compared to today's lineup. Now, does that mean that they're going to beat Tampa in the first round? I have no fucking clue. You don't know, right, Jesse? No. Until game 1. But
which is why you don't watch.
Might as well not watch a game.
But
I'd sign Noel Achari to a multi-year deal based on his jawline.
But here's what I thought about the 3rd and 4th lines last year. Vanilla. Vanilla. I like David Kampf. I like David Kampf. Pierre Engvall, I honestly never got the hype around, but I never got the hate around. I thought he was valuable, but vanilla. The guy's vanilla. Noel Achari is not fucking vanilla. That guy is in your shit. He's making life uncomfortable, and he doesn't have the size or the speed or the skill that a guy like Engvall has, but you fucking see him play. He is in your shit. He's annoying to play against. I don't want to line up against Noel Achari.
Engvall was an 85 who played like a 65.
Right. And that's so what I love now, and Lafferty has done this as well. He's actually been, to me, more of a surprise because I didn't have the highest expectations. Achari and Lafferty have given this group a little bit more of a confidence and a swagger. It's allowed guys like Yarncroke to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And Yarncroke's a pest and a pain in the ass when he's at his best too. I think that they've got some identity down there with the full lineup. It's the best 3rd and 4th especially since Kadri.
They give you such good 4th line shifts.
Yeah,
like just exhausting 4th line shifts. Like if you watch, like, is there a whole lot actually happening? No, not necessarily.
But you're skating.
Yeah, like the other team is getting bagged. And especially if Sheldon's doing his job and he targets the right people and he gets them in the offensive zone and they keep the puck down low. As long as the puck is not in open ice, basically, while those guys are out there, they're doing their job.
And I think that was I couldn't put my words to it last year, but the Leafs' bottom half was very vanilla. and has been for a while. And I think that it's kind of cool to see some personality and some character down there. And I wouldn't want to play those guys in the playoffs.
Whoever they end up playing should hopefully be a little bit more tired than they otherwise would have been.
Perfect. And that's what you're there for. Okay, so moving on here. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to the Leafs thing?
Speaking of Leafs, Steve Dangle got the Leafs to pronounce Toronto streets. I'm going to watch that after this podcast. It's a great video. It's on the Sportsnet YouTube channel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we shot that.
When did you do that?
Leafs Media Day.
In September?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well.
We spread it out.
Spread it out, baby. Do it.
Spread it out.
By the way, for Devils fans, watching that game last night, obviously the Devils have had, the game against Toronto where they had 3 goals called back, you got to be, I would be salty about that. And then watching last night's game where, and I'm going to steal something from your Boston breakdown with Toronto earlier this year, it feels like the Devils gave it away. And specifically because, Marner stripping Meyer, and then, of course, the Timo Meier penalty towards the end of the game. The Leafs had a double minor. Andre Palat's face was messed up.
Holmberg. He looked like a clicker.
He did. It felt like if I'm a Devils fan, I'm pissed because we should have won.
The Nylander slashing was so stupid.
Yeah.
Why did he slash him? Right after killing a penalty, you go out there, you just hack at the stick. It was awful.
If I can give Devils fans a little bit of comfort, Palat scoring that goal after getting hacked in the face and then basically laughing while spitting blood. There's your grizzled playoff vet. Mm-hmm. Playoff Palat. Oh, you're in for a treat.
They should undo the Timo Meier trade.
They should. They should. You know what? Get Andreas Johnson back.
Palat, clone him.
Yeah.
You were trying to figure out if they have baseball teams in San Jose because.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Listen,
I'm sure they do at some level.
Adam's mother-in-law was over, and she was like, "Oh, that game last night," and I was like, "What? That was 2 days ago." Oh right, no, they did play last night.
They did play.
It's just that time of this.
Steve, it's hard to stick to working out.
Yeah.
Would you found that having your Peloton makes it easier to stick to working out?
It makes it hard to stop. Is what it does.
Because you just keep going?
I'm on it. Even when I'm not on it, I feel like I am.
What are your favorite classes that the instructors have?
I do like the instructor classes because they keep you honest. But sometimes what I actually prefer to do is I like to ride through the countryside. So you don't have to have an instructor class. You can just listen to music and go through the Scottish Highlands,
which is nice.
You can go in the tropics. You can go in the desert. You can go wherever you want with Peloton.
And you have a Peloton bike. We all know Peloton has bikes, but they're much more than that. They also make treadmills and have a ton of other classes like yoga, strength training, HIIT, and boxing.
High intensity interval training. That's what HIIT means.
So you can try Peloton risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.ca/home-trial. That is onepeloton.ca/home-trial.
I'm exhausted.
Think you know what way it's going to go?
Yeah.
Make your bet at Sports Interaction, whether it's hockey, basketball, or
baseball.
Baseball's back! Spring training's happening right now. I'm very excited for the Jays. Jose Bautista going up on the Ring of Honor. Level of excellence.
Ring of Honor.
Level of excellence.
This guy's a wrestling fan.
Bet pregame, live in play, or on one of our many prop bets. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN, or in Ontario, download the app using the QR code that's on the screen right now. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Okay, so Jesse, I just sent you a message here. Now, Steve, before we get into this topic, and I'm going to ask Jesse to play this video for us, and as soon as he has it queued up, we'll be ready to go. But in a vacuum, describe a non-Ducks perspective on Corey Perry.
A non-Ducks perspective on Corey Perry?
As in, your team has to play Corey Perry. As a fan, how do you feel about Corey Perry generally?
I hate his guts a lot. I hate the stuff in his guts and out of his guts. I hate his guts.
Why?
because his nickname is the Worm. It could easily be the Rat.
But that's
It
Marchand.
could be the Pond Scum. It could be all sorts of nasty things. He's just meh. He's just meh incarnate. His nameplate should say meh 10.
But he's extremely effective even now that his scoring days are beyond him.
Yes.
And in Montreal and in Tampa, he's been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals.
He's been to 3 straight Stanley
three.
Cup finals
Okay.
because he was with Dallas as well.
Right? Oh, fuck.
And he lost all of them.
Oh. And many Corey Perry haters celebrated that.
I was like, ha! And then they showed his family and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and now I can't do it.
Also, Leaf fans are not going to like. Well, you're not going to like to hear this, but the Leafs a couple off seasons ago had a choice between Wayne Simmons and Corey Perry, and they took Wayne. And most Leaf fans are asking, why the hell didn't you take both? Because they could have afforded it.
Well,
No, Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau was
no.
on the roster. They couldn't afford it.
After Wayne? No, I don't think so. No, I think that
when did they trade him for the pick?
it was after the Dallas run to the Cup that they could have. That I believe they got Wayne, and then they could have had them both at $750,000. Wayne came in after the Dallas run.
No, because
No?
it was the year before COVID fucked everything.
No,
up,
I'm
didn't it?
telling you.
No,
I'm
no,
telling
it
you.
was the off season. Fuck, I don't know.
It was. I'm telling you it was.
Well, anyway,
I know it was.
I was pro
2020
Wayne.
is when they signed him after the Stanley Cup Finals.
I was pro getting Wayne
Of course.
instead of Perry. Because
Why couldn't you have both?
Wayne was younger and had the better numbers. Like, I think something needs to be... I think it needs to be taken into account that Perry's career trajectory has recovered
Yeah.
a bit.
And Wayne played really, really good until he broke his wrist with the Leafs when he first started with them.
Fucking did.
Yeah, he played great.
did.
Listen, I wasn't saying get one over the other. Get them both. Why didn't they get them both?
I would have liked both, but if I could only have one at the time, I would have taken Wayne. And Corey Perry's career has, man, he's found good match after good match after good match.
Now, there's a reason why I brought all this up.
Okay.
Yesterday, Tony DeAngelo, who has his own history on and off the ice,
High sticking.
speared Corey Perry right in the balls. Now, I'll let Tony DeAngelo himself, in his post-game press conference, explain, and he's hot.
He tried to slash my stick out of my hands a second beforehand.
No,
He
he
talks
didn't.
all game, So
Yes, he does.
asked him to fight. Doesn't want to fight. He'll tell you that he's asked me to fight for years. I don't say no. So there's not much of an argument there. But I didn't look to, I wasn't trying to give him a shot. Replay probably looks a little bit worse than it was meant to be, but it is what it is. I took 30 punches on the ground, and when I get up, they don't let me do what I got to do. So it's whatever.
Is there a history there with you guys?
No, there's no history because he doesn't want there to be a history. I'm ready to go whenever. So it is what it is.
Now,
You want more?
no, I think that's good.
It's about a minute.
Yeah, that's all we
The
need.
biggest mad.
By the way, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm so glad they did this. After Corey Perry gets speared, the other guys, every single one of them on the line, jumped on Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah,
like
none of this one-on-one bullshit.
no, and,
No one else does it. You shouldn't do it either.
And I'm starting to see it from the Leafs a little bit more too, because everything is about the Leafs.
Yep.
The Leafs didn't used to do that, and you need to do that.
That you know what?
You need to do that.
You know what's crept into the discourse, and it's related to what we're talking about. I'm so tired of seeing a fight every time there's a clean hit. I think I would have ended up in the ER if someone didn't grab Tyler Myers after they hit John Tavares.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so would all of your
And
uncles.
I know that's hypocrisy on my part, but I'm a hypocrite. Whatever. You got to grab him. Grab him. You can't do that to Tavares.
No, it's a clean hit.
It's my captain. Are you kidding?
Now with
Look at those gloves. Not a blue glove in sight.
confetti.
Confetti. That's confetti gloves. And also that thing about like D'Angelo's account of what actually happened there is a fabrication.
Well, because he says basically that the refs prevented him from doing what he needed to do. He could have fought right there.
Well, okay, no, like he gets mugged by the entire team.
Well, what do you expect?
So I understand him being upset about that, but you were on the outside of the scrum looking in. Perry didn't even know where you were, and he sticks you in and you stuck him in the nuts. So like Corey Perry did this and that. You didn't need to stick him in the nuts. It's hockey. There's a million things that you wouldn't be allowed to do at the grocery store that you're allowed to do on an ice surface, and you speared him in the nuts. It's going to cost you games and it's going to cost you money, and it looks good on you.
Now, he does have a hearing with Department of Player Safety today.
That's a hard spear, too.
Here's the thing. They didn't say whether it was on the phone or in person. Meaning,
no, they didn't.
They didn't specify that, and they did that on purpose because the Department of Player Safety has zero standards. But don't worry, George Parros will be a general manager in the NHL within the next 5 years. You watch, mark my words. I love the sympathy for George Parros. By the way, it's such a hard job. Oh, it's so hard. Yeah. You know what's a fucking hard job? Landscaping, construction. That's a hard job. Fucking cry about it. Now, with this one is super interesting. I don't know that there's much comparable to go on. Not that ever matters with the Department of Player Safety, but I can't get a gauge on, because they have no standards, whether this is going to be a suspension, a fine and a suspension. What is this going to be?
So it's funny. I was trying to think of a comparable, and I couldn't until you asked me to come up with one. Marchand gets game misconduct for spear on Dotchin, and he was suspended.
Which honestly, Jake Dotchin probably deserved.
Yeah. And it's funny. These incidents never seem to happen between two nice people.
No, it's villain versus villain.
Villain versus villain, right? Marchand got 2 games for that. So he speared Dotchin right in the nuts. So it wasn't just a spear. If Keandre Miller got 3 games for spitting because it's 3 games for spitting and that's it, this is 2 games.
That's fair. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be like, he needs more games. No, 2 games. Hitting the guy in the nuts. The
standard is you get 2 games for spearing a guy in the nuts.
Yeah, seems about right.
You're not allowed to spear a guy in the nuts. Well, he did this, he did that, he did that. I don't know. Fight him. I don't. But even if you glove on punched him, face washed him, glove off punched him, it would have had more integrity than spearing him in the nuts. What kind of chicken shit thing is that?
It's pretty chicken shit.
Yeah.
To be out of the scrum and then go out of your way to spear a guy in the nuts.
Danielle Michaud on Sportsnet this morning said, "Why does he talk like Bane?" Tony D'Angelo.
I was wondering,
man. He's got a little bit of it's like a tough talk guy, but you just speared a guy in the nuts, man. Let me
play it.
He's also breathing heavy and just got off.
No, he didn't just get off the ice. He had a game misconduct,
Steve. When we spoke to Cam, he said
you're right.
Was a big focus going into the game was trying to not get the Lightning on the power play. I guess where did the composure go?
As the whole game. What is it? 3-0 on the power play? 5-2 game? There's the game. That's what they do to teams, and they did it to us. And a couple tough calls there. I thought that, we wound up getting power plays later in the game. I thought that
this is after a little bit. No, but before, if you rewind it to the beginning when he's talking tough, he's talking about the game there.
I wasn't trying to give him a shot. Replay probably looks a little bit worse than it was meant to be, but it is what it is. I took 30 punches on the ground, and when I get up, they don't let me do what I got to do. So
it's not really Bane.
It's a little bit WWE though.
Steve, do your Bane. Your Bane is really good.
Oh, well, you get ambushed by the Lightning. They don't let you do what you got to do. So you spear them in the genitalia, and they will remember the next time they cross Anthony D'Angelo.
By the way, Steve made a good point in my kitchen upstairs before the show. And
I always do.
Is it going to be? Is the graphic after the suspension announced going to be high sticking and nuts?
Mine was high sticking in the dick, which I watered down for Twitter. High sticking in the balls, and which Berkshire improved by going history.
Oh, of course, you got to add history in there.
Yes, he does have history.
I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry 2 games.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How would Bane announce his 2-game suspension?
As you can see on the replay, this is spearing to the nuts of Corey Perry. You can't do that. 2 games from the Department of Player Safety.
I like that.
Good. It was really good.
I like that.
Gotham.
No, you do a good job of that.
You think spearing me in the nuts is your ally?
Love it.
Now, moving on from that, the Flames and Wild had a crazy end of their game last night. Everybody thought the game was over. Jared Spurgeon diving on the ice. people leaving. Yeah, Jared Spurgeon, captain of the Minnesota Wild.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
That was Mikko Koivu.
The Wild players were skating off the ice, and of course the NHL is like, wait a second, let's have a second look at that. And they did, and they called it back. Now, I do want to ask, do you think that he was in fact offside?
I find it very interesting because you know I have a sore spot for the players who don't watch in the offseason.
Right. And Jesse, do you, if you can find the screen grab of it, that would be amazing. I didn't pull that. My apologies.
Marcus Foligno watches. And I know he watches because he compared it to a goal that did count the other night. Oh, God. Who was it?
Well, the Leafs had one similar in one of their games as well. It's the question of whether or not, if you're making a pass at the blue line, but the puck is not yet over the blue line, is it in your possession?
Now, that's a fascinating one, Adam.
Right?
I don't know if you can really see it, but like...
Right here. So there's the freeze.
Okay, let me see.
He has possession.
Yeah.
It's the conversation of, can you make yourself offside?
Can you run that freeze on? Can we bring that up on the screen?
And I believe the interpretation of the rule is no, you can't make yourself go offside.
So then,
if you're the puck carrier, but
so then how is this offside?
So they're saying that he's no longer the puck carrier
because
he's passing it.
But if you're talking about follow through, which is what he has there, he could, in theory, pull that puck back in.
So a good example that you were probably searching for is the McDavid one. Do you remember when?
My God!
I think that's the clearest example of like one that's happened very similar. You know, McDavid, when he made the little deke move and then the puck was off his stick slightly, they said he lost possession and then he entered the zone, so he made himself offside.
Yeah, but
So in this Jared Spurgeon case, they're saying he passed the puck and then he made himself offside.
When they are tallying the possession clock, you know how they're like, this team has the puck for this much time. Like when McDavid does his little dipsy doodle, do they go pause, start? When he puts his stick back on the puck?
That's team possession is the clock. This is the player.
Get out!
The way they're interpreting it for that McDavid
Which team does he play for?
It does that player have possession of the puck?
He plays for the team that has it.
Expected by whom?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
He plays for the team that has it.
Yeah.
Jared Spurgeon, whether the puck is on his stick or not, has the puck that whole time.
No. Because like
he does. Though.
If I'm passing the puck to you when the puck is in between us, it could go off.
But it's not there.
The problem was
but
before.
It's not.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I think the problem was before he passed it. Here, can you go back one frame?
Here, I'll play the call. I'll play the call from the ref too. We can get that audio.
Okay. Are we allowed to play that?
After video review, it was determined the play was offside. Therefore, there's no goal on the play.
He doesn't. He doesn't give the interpretation.
Yeah, because why would you explain to the fans what's going on? Because this game is hard enough, chaotic enough as it is. Now,
thanks for your money. Fuck off.
Now, what's interesting is then it goes into shootout. And it looks like the Wild are going to win because they get that goal in the third round of the shootout. And here it is. See, he receives it back like that. Mm-hmm. He's got almost 2 feet over. Mm-hmm. To me, he's already on the other side of the blue line.
No, he hasn't entered the zone yet. That's not how hockey works.
Okay, well then go to the next frame.
Okay.
Come on.
So now he's in the zone, and because he passes it and he loses possession, he makes himself offside.
No.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
He could just as easily hold there.
So right now the puck's not in the zone. Or
that's
I guess
the thing.
It is in the zone.
That I guess would be the interpretation of the rule would be he should have held it.
Yeah. Because you can't make yourself. You can carry the puck in backwards.
Get rid of these fucking replays. Get rid of them. Does offside. This make the product better?
You're offside, Mr. Spurgeon.
Trash. Absolute trash. You want to bring this in the Stanley Cup final? Okay, I'll grant you that. But this is bullshit. Way to suck the energy right out of the... Do you think any fan went home last night happy? Man, I really feel good about the $150 I spent on my lower bowls.
They won. Well, they probably were more upset.
No, they didn't win.
There was no game.
The Wild did not win that game.
Who won the game?
Flames did.
Oh, they won?
Yes, that's why.
See, I went to bed thinking Spurgeon scored the OT
No.
winner.
I even saying it the whole show.
No, and this is why this is
hilarious.
such a. No, what happened was they go to the
I
third.
thought they won!
They go to the third round of the shootout. Minnesota scores, and then Calgary ties it up with Kadri, and then Toffoli scored the next round.
Good for them. They needed the points. Wow, that's hilarious.
By the way, after the game, I want to just say, Daryl Sutter had a great year with the media last year. This year, he is the worst coach with the media. He said, this freaking guy said, he had the balls to say after the game, yeah, we're chasing points, and, you guys kind of, like, the media kind of threw us, or everyone kind of threw us under the bus. No, Daryl, you threw you under the bus consistently. Come on.
You're such a victim. Shut up.
So
Anyway.
the one that Foligno brought up to give an example of why it should have been onside is the Vancouver one with Beauvillier. And with the Beauvillier one, he's not making a pass, but it's very similar to the McDavid one where he's making a deke and he's turning around. But in this case, they say that he maintains possession through his dangles, his deke at the line.
So that's not team possession. That's
the personal
individual possession.
Beauvillier maintains possession through his turning around in the blue line, so he can't make himself offside. Therefore, it's onside.
So he has possession even though he's not touching the puck.
Yeah. Like if you say like that.
No, I'm saying it should be like that.
So right there,
because he has the puck.
No, right there, you can say he's holding the puck. I'll put it on the screen. So right there, you can say he's entered the line backwards with possession of the puck. That's how they interpreted it at the time. Yeah. And it's different in the Jared Spurgeon's case. He's literally making a pass.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
I understand it. Here's what I will say. I don't think we can get rid of offside reviews. There should be no offside in 3-on-3 overtime.
Yes. Oh, but then you get people saying that's not real hockey.
Just it's like already not real hockey.
I did a whole episode on this on the Jesse Blake Sports Report. I changed some rules, different rules I would change, and that would be one of the main rules I would do. 3-on-3 should just be pond hockey.
Yes.
No offsides. Just go. No icing. Literally, just go. Just play hockey.
Embrace the best parts of it.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Shut up.
And
that's my favorite thing to do to people.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It is
so annoying.
It's a lovely chest infection. Don't recommend them. No. Not the most fun I've ever had. Okay, now before the game, there was another controversy, and this one not so much fun to debate. And I don't think there's actually much debate to be had here. I believe this is the fourth team now, actually the third team.
I'm not totally sure.
And that has basically come out and said, we're not gonna. We're doing our Pride Night. This is Minnesota, but the players are not coming out in the jerseys.
They didn't say that.
What do you mean they didn't say that?
They didn't say that. They just didn't do it.
Well, they didn't do it. And Michael Russo tweeted out the statement.
What this statement is a response to questions from people about the Wild not wearing their Pride warm-up jerseys.
Right.
So keep that in mind when you're listening to this statement.
By the way, until 2023,
wasn't an issue.
This has happened for years. I don't know why this is an issue all of a sudden. Minnesota Wild organization is proud to continue our support for the LGBTQIA plus community by hosting our second annual Pride Night tonight, which we are celebrating in many ways. It is important to host nights like this to show all players, fans, and the LGBTQIA plus community that hockey is for everyone. We will continue to utilize our platform to strengthen our community and create a greater state of hockey, because that's their thing, a state of hockey.
Dude, what?
I'm glad they got the branding in there.
I'm really glad they got that in there too. That was clever. You should give yourself a raise. What does that have to do with the jerseys? You said you were going to wear them. You're not wearing them. Why aren't you wearing them? That's all. That's the only thing anyone wants to know the answer to.
And what's weird is
you were going to wear them. You're not wearing them. Why aren't you wearing them?
I'm not able to find an answer to that this morning.
Which is a failure.
They didn't provide one.
It's a failure on the team, and I don't like to do this because I'm not down there, and I don't have to face people every day.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know, because I wasn't in that scrum.
Yes.
But so I'm not going to throw darts not knowing, because someone might have actually done their job here. But if this question was not asked of the team after the game, that's a failure on the people covering this team.
Well, I'll tell you who did a great job of it in New York is Molly Walker. She did a full article on, we've been doing this for years. Why did this change all of a sudden?
And we got a great satisfactory answer.
Well, we got nothing. And that's the thing, is the article starts and ends with the same question.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, at a certain point, we got to ask the question, if pushback from a couple of homophobes is enough to get you to move off of this, how committed are you to it?
All right.
They're not. Is that who's pushing them off of it?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
What do I know?
Well, we said this would happen when the Flyers did it. We said it would happen again, and then it did happen again, and then we said, didn't we say this would happen? And now it's happened again, and we don't have any answers. And I think one of the things we called at the time is the one mistake the Flyers made, at least in the eyes of the other teams in the NHL, is they made Provorov the face of it. So now every team is like, you know what, we can't do this to our guys. So we're not even going to announce that we're not doing it. We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. And now they're not doing it, and we don't have any fucking answers.
Yeah, it's why aren't you doing it? It's a very simple question that no one's willing to answer.
Yeah, well, the Hockey is for Everyone campaign is going to be replaced with their new campaign, which is Never Mind. I mean, is it? Is it?
There was a couple oddities with the Wild tonight, too, because they had a full Pride night. And even during the warm-ups, they had Pride pucks. And it's like, did some players avoid the Pride pucks? And the celebration throughout the night, it was just the jerseys specifically.
Oh, no. He's using the Pride puck. Might send the wrong message.
It was awful.
It's getting to the point now where I think there are, from what I'm reading from the people who are within the community,
they're hurting.
They're hurting. Mm-hmm. And like, it's interesting. If you're going to be like Mr. Burns, hyper-capitalist billionaire owner, I go back to this. I said this with the Flyers. If my team is alienating anybody who will pay for a ticket to my game, I got a problem with that. Mm-hmm. From a full-blown, forget any social issue, just your capitalism. If you are alienating potential clients for my product, I got a big fucking problem with it. So the NHL, just from that perspective, has no excuse but to step in here. And I think they're frozen. I think they don't know what to do. I don't think they know how to handle this. And so, at the end of the day, when the teams won't do it, I don't want to say can't do it. They can do it. They're just not. When the teams won't do it, you have to look to the fans to sort of do it. And what I respect about hockey fans, especially hockey fans from the community, is that they're saying, well, we're here anyway. Whether or not you'll wear the jerseys, we're going to be here. And tomorrow I'm joining Robert at something, the launch party for Alphabet Sports Collective. I wanted to shout them out. Brand new organization at ABCS Collective on Twitter. In their bio, a queer-led NFP organization focused on creating a safer environment for people of all sexual identities and expressions of gender in hockey. It's so I'm joining him tomorrow for that, just to go see what they're all about. They've been working on this, I think, for 2 years.
Wow.
And it's, I wanted to take the time. We know what's wrong with the Minnesota Wild thing. We've talked about this. So I figured this would be a great time to shout out an organization that just formed so that they could get a spotlight on this. And this is one because obviously we know and love Robert so much that, we wanted to make sure that they got their shout out today. And if you're feeling like you want to be closer to a community, that's a great one to be a part of. There's some really amazing people who have done amazing things separately, who have all come together, and I'm really excited about this.
On the board of directors, you get our very own Sam Chang.
Yeah!
Brock McGillis is their corporate speaker. I'm just reading off of their website. And Chanel, a very dear friend of the show, is also on the board of directors.
Ooh, Leaf legend Curtis Gabriel.
Yeah.
Curtis Gabriel also there.
Yeah. So this is, I just, instead of, we all know what's wrong with it. What's wrong with what the Wild did and the Rangers and the Islanders and the Flyers and everything. Let's talk about what's right and what's positive, and this is one of those things. So just a big shout out to them.
Can I just say, from the teams, like their stance has been like, oh, we just don't wear the jerseys because some people don't want to wear them. It would be nice if they were just like, okay, you don't have to wear it, but here's a punishment and you don't wear it, and then we move on. You know, that would be nice, but just for them to take a stand, you know,
there'd be a lot
Oh,
about
something. To stand for anything?
Yeah,
to have a backbone?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
No, it's too much to ask.
Yeah.
Too much to ask.
So.
Anyway, shout out to Alphabet Sports Collective. Really excited to see the great work that they're going to do. Now, one last story before we hit the press conference. And Jesse and Steve are looking at me like, you're about to cough your brains out. Are you sure you want to do one more? But I have to hit this. Did you guys talk about the Stephen A. Smith clip on the last show?
No, and I was wondering if maybe we should have.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, so
it's not to the league.
Really, I thought. I mean, we couldn't run the actual clip because it's technically property of ESPN.
We can run the audio.
Can we run the audio?
Yeah, just not on YouTube.
Okay, we can't run the audio. So did
you have it?
I can pull it up.
Awful Announcing had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll pull it for you, Jesse.
Amazing.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because it's here, I'll send you the full article. The reason I want to bring this up is not because of what Stephen A. Smith said. It's because of what it's reported the NHL's reaction to what Stephen A. Smith is. Okay. Now I want to talk about credibility for a second.
Okay.
Credibility. How do you look at credibility? Credible voices. If someone is credible to you, if you follow somebody and you're like, I believe and I love what that person says, what's credible? What do you love about them?
Trustworthy, integrity. If they have credibility in, like you're talking about in the realm of sports.
Yeah. And it could be, and really it's ubiquitous, but let's use sports.
Whatever you say is based in truth.
Right.
Whether I agree with it or not.
And maybe you're not actively trying to mislead me for your own gains as well.
Yes, I can disagree with your points, but if you have credibility, they are at very least valid. I am either for or against.
And I would say that Steve's summation is great. The one thing I would add to that is life experience. Right? A lot of times people live it. Now, what you're about to hear is Stephen A. Smith, who I believe, and a lot of people are going to roll their eyes, is one of the most credible voices in North American sports, if not the most. He's got a huge range. People call him a hot take artist. Listen to what happens on the panel when they bring up which New York sports team is going to be the first team to win the championship. Go ahead, Jesse.
I have a good one. I think it's an interesting one. Which team in New York do you think wins a championship next?
Rangers. Oh, Lord.
Come on, Patrick Kane is able.
They don't count.
They don't count.
They don't count.
Only thing I know about hockey is that the puck is black.
Okay.
And I love Gary Bettman. That's my buddy who I owe a trip to the hockey game.
Right.
It is no disrespect to the Rangers and to Patrick Kane, of course, but just for Stephen
Football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
Yankees or the Mets. One of those two. Right. One of those two.
Are you telling me that you believe that the Mets might win a championship sooner than the Yankees?
Of course.
Let's leave it there.
So they're done. They're done. That was the extent of the hockey conversation. Jesse, do you want to play that clip next?
Yeah, that's what we're getting to. I assume Adam's going to.
Yeah, you go ahead and play it.
So, Michael Kay, who's the other person on that segment, he hosts a radio show in New York, and he reveals that the league wasn't too happy about what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
So that's what happened. A lot of hockey fans were upset.
And by the way, Peter, one addendum to that. I heard today the NHL red hot.
Well, apparently so, because Stephen A. put out a video that was clearly trying to make amends earlier today.
So it's funny. You talked about Stephen A.'s credibility. One criticism of Stephen A.'s coverage is sometimes he is stretched too thin. Like sometimes he pushes it. And like, for example, sometimes his combat sport coverage, people roll their eyes and they go, oh, Jesus. Stephen.
Well, you can't be great at everything, right?
You can't be great at everything. So, but that was his authentic feelings about hockey.
And can I play his apology?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Sure. Take a look, y'all.
Go Rangers! Go Rangers, not go New York, go with the Knicks. I'm talking about the Rangers. I know you got something going on with Patrick Kane tonight, okay? Will you calm down? I was having a good time, having fun. Gary Bettman is my friend, okay? Relax, y'all, relax. I understand the Rangers are all that, but they got a championship since 1994. It's them damn Knicks that haven't won since 1973. I'm sure you can understand why I'm aching a little bit more for the Knicks than the Rangers, okay? Mark Messier erased that 40-year-old curse, all right? For 50 years. Bottom line is this. The Rangers have a championship more recently than my New York Knicks. But I root for all things New York, and that includes the Rangers. So guess what, Rangers fans? Calm down, and let's do that hockey. Let's do that hockey.
Now,
somebody got a phone call.
Now, so let me just take this for a second. If you don't think that Stephen A. Smith is credible, then you need to read his book. This is a guy.
Oh, he's credible.
Of course
he is.
This is a guy that grew up in Hollis. He had a father that had two families. He supported one family. He didn't support the other, which was Stephen's family. He got himself a basketball scholarship by Stephen A. Smith. Yes, in like a League Two. Yes, absolutely. Like one of those. He was talent scouted on a playground in Hollis, and then taken. Actually? Yes, and then taken to a university. I'm not going to wreck the whole story for you. And he made such an impression on the coach that after the first season, he played half a season in high school basketball. He played like one full season in this for this university that he went to, and his knee blew up. And the coach believed in him so much that they kept him there on an academic scholarship. And Stephen started writing for the local paper. His first beat was for a soccer team, and he knew nothing about soccer. And he went and he showed up and he told the coach, and the coach said, "Okay, well, everybody get together. This is Stephen A. He's going to be writing a piece on us over the next 2 weeks. Teach him about the game and answer any question that he has." Awesome. His book is so unbelievable. His story is so unbelievable. And yet it happened. That guy is rags to riches. He deserves your respect. And what that clip illustrates to me, and the NHL's reaction illustrates to me, is apathy.
Yeah, no, hockey's a non-factor.
And that's the sad part. Like, listen, I think the NHL is mad because First Take is the biggest show in sports in North America.
Yep.
The NHL is mad because Stephen A. Smith is the best known personality in North America right now in sports. And he's on the biggest network in North America, arguably the world, in sports, which is ESPN. And ESPN are partners with the NHL. But the NHL is really mad because they had a great partnership with ESPN through the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, and they fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked it up. They did 3 lockouts in 20 years. They lost their ESPN contract. They went with Outdoor Life and then NBCSN. And now, back with ESPN, they're relegated to ESPN Plus. I was DMing back and forth, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. Shayna Goldman and I were talking about, because I asked last week on Twitter randomly, what's it like to watch hockey in the States? Shayna ran me through how fucking hard it is to watch your own team play.
Really?
You think it's bad here with our streaming services, which are not great. Shayna ran me through what it takes to watch a game on ESPN or TNT. It's not easy, guys. And the NHL finds itself in a position where they are relegated to a side sport in the United States, which is their core market. The United States is the core market for the NHL. Don't kid yourself. And they are a premium buy.
27 teams.
You got to buy
25.
You got to buy premium cable or a premium app to watch, and to play. It's extremely expensive. Hockey is a rich person's sport. You know what sport? You know what's amazing about hockey is you jump on skates, you have this equipment on it. It requires incredible speed, incredible coordination. It's breathtaking, the skill that goes into being a hockey player. It's amazing. I love this fucking sport. And I want this sport to hit as many people as possible because I know how fucking hard it is for those guys to be as great as they are. You saw Zegras' goal last night through the legs against Seattle?
There's a reason they market him.
Crazy.
There's a reason he's on the cover.
Crazy. You know what else?
With Sarah Nurse.
You know what else is another sport that requires a lot of coordination? Polo. Jumping on the back of a horse and smacking a ball with a stick. You telling me that doesn't create that is not an unbelievably skilled sport? But you know what polo is? It's a fucking side sport. Because the barrier to entry is huge. You have to have a horse. You have to train the horse. You gotta know somebody who knows how to ride a horse that's been trained. You gotta have those, like, you gotta go to shop at Ralph Lauren. That's not cheap.
How many horses do you know personally?
Exactly.
It's none.
You gotta have somebody who's got enough time on the back of a fucking horse to whack a ball and be good at it.
So
that's
you're
what
saying hockey is as little of a player as polo.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
Respects.
But what I'm saying is if hockey's not careful, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what Adam said.
If hockey is not careful, it's going to relegate itself to a rich person's niche sport.
Not careful?
I think that's what it is.
No, this is what that segment illustrated. They are decades deep into the hole. And I think the NHL is coping and seething with the fact that they're in that hole. You are not signing this deal with ESPN and everything's good again. Because this is the psyche. That is the mindset of a too high percentage of the American sports fan. And I got news for you. I don't think it's getting much better in Canada.
Well, the thing is that in Canada, the big sports that are on the rise are the ones that are the easiest to play.
Soccer.
What's so powerful about soccer?
You need a ball.
What's so powerful about basketball?
You need a ball and a net. I guess for both of them, you need
a
ball
and a net. Like a basket can literally be anything. I remember we played basketball in school and it would just be like, it's that part of the wall. Just throw the ball there.
Yeah, there's lots of basketball courts and there's lots of soccer fields. I don't think there's an outdoor rink in all of Oshawa. And
there's a lot downtown.
You can roll your eyes at Oshawa, but like that's a
hockey town.
There's not an outdoor rink in Oshawa?
I don't think so.
Other than people's backyards, maybe?
I don't think so.
That's wild.
I don't think so.
Do you know that and Dave Cadeau, who gave us all a shot at the Fan back in the day, Dave Cadeau told me a crazy stat. In Toronto, do you know the last time all the rinks were renovated?
Oh my God, like the 50s?
1967 for Expo.
That's why they haven't won.
It's crazy.
Well, have you been to Moss Park?
Oh my God.
It's an old barn and everybody goes, it's hilarious. It's kind of sad.
It's sad. And every hockey game you play there might be the last one you play because the roof might cave in.
Yes. And so when I look at the NHL being fuming, and by the way, Gary Bettman is known for calling his broadcast partners when they say something untoward about the NHL that he doesn't like. It's either a call from Gary, a call from Bill, and this is all allegedly, or a call from head office.
I don't think he's wrong there.
To the programming department and saying, yo, you can't make our sport look bad. You're partners with us in this.
Yeah.
The reality of the situation is Gary's got nobody but himself to blame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he's mad that Stephen A. Smith doesn't know shit about hockey, it's because Stephen doesn't have to. And do you think that ESPN needs NHL? It doesn't. So the head of programming at ESPN is going to be like, hey, Stephen, can you just throw them a little bone on Twitter? Okay, then we get this mosquito off my back. And I think it's a bummer because, man, this fucking game rules.
It rules. And you know what? Like, here's how little work Stephen A. Smith has put into it. Is when the partnership was announced, he made the hockey puck is black joke. Mm-hmm. Like, he hasn't even updated his jokes on the sport. Mm-hmm. That's like when he says that's all he knows, he's not kidding. He's not kidding.
Yeah. And I think
who told him Mark Messier was the captain of that team?
Well, exactly. Don't get too focused on Stephen A. Smith in this, right? Because he's just the deliverer of the message. He represents a lot of people's feelings.
I don't have a problem with what he said. Do not have a problem with what he said. I lament what he said.
Yeah.
I lament that that's the state of the NHL in the United States.
It stings me. Who was his last co-host? Gun to the Earth.
Oh, fucking Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman said there's 20,000 hockey fans in every American city and they're all at the arena.
That's not the ratings enough.
in a lot of cases back that up. And here's the thing, man. I want this sport to grow. I want this thing to be, if I had my way, the Leafs would be winning the cup. So you couldn't make 1967 jokes at me anymore. Matthews would be tearing it up this year so that you couldn't compare McDavid and Matthews, which people are doing, and I get it. And the NHL wouldn't be like the 8th most popular sport in North America. I want this sport to win, but the NHL getting mad at Stephen A. Smith and ESPN for this is really the NHL mad at its own decisions. That's what I want you to take away from this. And we all love hockey. You're listening to a fucking hockey podcast. Of course you love hockey. Don't we want to we know, sometimes, you ever talk to a non-hockey fan?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, everyone, all my in-laws in Scotland.
Don't you just want to shake them and go, hey, this is so great. You got to come see this.
No,
that's how I feel.
They have good grip strength. No, I wouldn't grab them.
I don't know. It's just, anyway, I just thought it was a microcosm of, like, the NHL literally, that is a summation of the last 30 years of terrible decisions by head office, and they're mad at somebody else, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Own your shit,
No,
Gary.
They don't have anyone but themselves to blame. I don't think they maybe totally understood that they are in a decades deep hole.
Do you think they get it now?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Just one quick thing before we go to end the show where we started. This was from Chris P. on our press conference questions channel on our Discord server. Go to sbn.ca and join us on our Discord. This is another example of, we say things sometimes on the show and we don't know who's listening, and we end up, hey, that's cool.
I love this.
Chris P says, my brother plays for Basingstoke, for the Basingstoke Bison.
Lost.
Are we pronouncing that properly?
No, I said it wrong again. Basingstoke. He plays for the Basingstoke Bison. My kids laughed so hard at your attempt to pronounce the good old B-Stoke. I think you guys should try to pronounce more English town names.
Did you give us a list?
So, no.
Give us a list.
Somebody make a list. We'll do it. We'll try it. And then we need the correct pronunciations as well. That's crazy. Chris, who's your brother? How many goals does he have?
Also, no Welsh names. That's not fair. There are no vowels in some of those names. Come on.
So, it's Chris P.
P. So, it's got to be P.
So,
does it?
There's Jack Peacock.
Oh.
There's Travis Penny.
Chris Peacock.
And there's Paul. Oh, no.
That's not.
And there's
that's
Paul.
Not fair.
Paul Petts.
Could be any one of those.
So it's either
Crispy Petts.
Could be. Now I'm trying to look for a name I recognize, and I got to tell you, unfortunately, I don't. Oh, Aiden Doughty. I'm sure he's related. He has to be. No, I don't recognize any of the names. No. Damn, I love playing this game.
This is good. I like this.
No, I didn't get it. Jack Peacock, Travis Penny, or Paul Petts.
Chris's brother. Hello. I'm sorry we got your city wrong.
I am not.
Town, city? What do they have in the UK? Village?
County.
County. That's a good one.
Quarters. Yeah, County Durham.
Kingdom. Crumpets.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.